the question was,
One, two, three, four. Thank you for being here, by the way. We'll get started pretty soon. Sound check and some other things.
Hey, Joe, talk some more. No, not the Joe song.
Yes, it's the Joe song again. I will stand up on this agenda, but we have a full break.
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all for coming. Time nonetheless. I mean, only we have to wait till 5, 10, 15 minutes before people ever gets here. It's like, I know it's such a long trip from the living room, but still. Well, thank everybody. And I want to let everybody know that if you don't have a lot of background noise, please leave your microphone open. We'd love to hear you laugh. If you get some noise, just turn your microphone off till the noise goes away. And that would be, hope you come back. If you're comfortable, we'd also love to see your smiling faces. Hearing you laugh is great. Seeing you laugh is even better. And, we are comedians, which means, our cocaine is your laughter. Please. But we've been doing these now for 2 years. This is our third show. We've done pretty much every 2 weeks during the pandemic. And, live shows are starting back up, but we're still seeing a little bit of a need for the virtual shows. People who don't necessarily want to get out or don't want to go out too late or aren't close to a place that does comedy. And as long as we've got comedians who want to do it and people who want to watch it, I'll keep doing it. These comedians have been, dealing with the pandemic for 2 years and just starting to get back to live comedy. So if you enjoy the show, by no means is an obligation. The show is free, but we do have 2 donation ways set up: PayPal.me/BD Comedy, and on Cash App it's $button down comedy. If you like what you see and want to send them $1 or $2, please do that. They would appreciate it. It goes a long way. It really does. I did a live show, and it was a paid show, which was great. But the $5 tip that somebody gave me made almost as much as the money they paid me for the show, because it was, it's coming from the heart, and that really means a lot. We appreciate that. And also, if you're not already, please follow Button Down Comedy on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We will post all the information about the live shows as well as the virtual shows. And we'd love to see you guys come back and enjoy the shows. It's been a rough few days. Everybody's talking about what happened at the school shooting. And every time you have something like this, there's always the talk of restricting our rights. And I'm sorry, it is my right. And if I want to have a door in the back, I should be able to have a door in there. Don't come for my doors. Don't make me have to climb out windows just to get out of the house. It's not right. You can pry the door from my cold, dead hand before I'll give up my back door.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think Ted Cruz would have been okay with just one door at the Capitol? Just thinking, that back door came in handy. Again. Yeah, it's amazing. I've been always curious about where sayings come from. And there's a saying that says to drop a dime. Round of applause if you've heard the term to drop a dime on somebody.
Yep.
Means with the police. But do you know where that term comes from?
Nope.
No.
Yeah. Kirk, where's
I think so.
where?
Like when a payphone costs a dime, that you would drop it in to rat your friend out.
You got it. The payphone. Now let me give a little background to the younger people in the crowd. The payphone is this having this walk in, and you can put money in, and you pick up this handle, buttons on it that you could dial a number and call somebody. And way back when, it cost a dime. That's where the term drop a dime comes from. Last time I saw one, and I just saw that the New York removed the last of their payphones days ago. The last time I saw a payphone, it was like 45 cents to make a phone call. And I'm sorry, but to drop 2 dimes and a quarter just doesn't roll off the tongue. And what I want to know is, where did the term "don't look a gift horse in the mouth" come from? Where is this freaking horse with all the gifts? And why is he putting them in his mouth? I think this is where "stop beating a dead horse" comes from, because he did not have gifts. And who named the blowjob? I mean, there's no blowing. That is the worst name for an activity I've ever heard. And I mean, you have the opposite, the eating out. But when I think eating out, I'm thinking, restaurant with cloth tablecloths. But as a guy, a food truck and a footlong is just fine. And I'm sure everybody heard about the kerfuffle on the plane with the Christian music. The problem is they're talking about the wrong thing. It's not about anti-Christian. It's about, when I get on a plane, I bring headphones so I can listen to my music and not bother everybody else. So I don't care if it's Christian music or rap music or Muslim prayer. Shut up. They have a term for loud music in a confined area. The CIA calls that torture.
Yeah.
And I'm very open to the LGBT community. And I mean, they're very inclusive. I mean, they went from LGBTQ, but who decided to add the QAnon? I mean, really? Maybe that's just I say that you see the nature photography, and you know what they take pictures of, and fashion photography, you know what they take pictures of, sports photography, you know what they take pictures of. But amateur photography, what do they take pictures of? Is that category on Pornhub? I don't know. I was thinking about our communications. Years from now, they're going to look back at us and they're going to look at our memes and our TikTok videos. But then they're going to look a little further back and they're going to see our hieroglyphics, the emojis. And they're going to wonder why we were praying to a chocolate ice cream cone, Let me end on this one. Anybody have that light in their car that's flashing, check engine? Mine has been doing that for a week. Now, can anybody tell me what that means?
I think it means to check your engine.
No, it means I can never have a sex robot, because if I can't lubricate my car. And the sex doll industry has really done a lot of research, and they've been trying to break into the female market, because I mean, guys are easy, but the women, I mean, they had nice looking men, they had well endowed men, but that didn't do it. It wasn't until they added compassionate conversation, that's when they got the women. That's also when they added the mute option for the men. My girlfriend says it's okay for me to have a sex robot as long as it looks like her. But I don't think I can afford all those hairstyle changes and the nails. And that mute option is expensive. All right, that's my time. Let's move on to our actual comedians here. Our first comedian of the night is someone I met doing a Zoom comedy over the past 2 years. I'd like to say she's the queen of clean comedy, but that would not be accurate. She is hilarious. She is off the wall, and I think we'll all immensely. So a moment, let me put her on this stage here, please. Give a big round of applause to Brooke Barsell.
Yay!
Hey,
Hello, I stood up and then I went away, so let me adjust. There I am. Hi, everyone. Woo! Wouldn't it be nice in like a live show if you saw like short people behind tall people, you could just adjust it for them so like everyone could see you very well. Zoom's pretty nice. My name's Brooke. I don't know if you've been around a brook in person. It's a bubbly part where the waterfall and the water go. It's just a delight. It's a delight. So that's me. I'm just a delight. You might not understand what I'm saying, but you're like, okay, I like the energy. Feels good. Lots of bubbles. I'm a hobbyist. I like hobbies. Definitely a hobbyist for hobbies. Have a lot of them. Let's see, like macrame. I made jewelry, hemp bracelets, earrings, did a little bowling. But then there was a strike, so that was the end of the bowling. I like reading, doing yoga, like meditating, stuff like that. I tried kayaking, like immediately I got seasick. I don't know if that happens to you guys. What else? I like try it for a little bit and then I'm like, oh, maybe, like watercolors, pastels, like falling for like a catfish swindler on Craigslist because he's not a real sugar daddy, stuff like that. I got into miniatures when I was a kid. I used to collect like miniature chair with a little miniature person with a little miniature. Basically, I grew out of it. As one does. But like I said, I'll circle back, because it's like a pattern. I'll pick up a new hobby, pick up another hobby, try it again, get out that bowling ball, dust it off, get out that little miniature bowling ball and dust it off. There's probably so many puns I could stick here, but I'll move on. My ex, he was a lot like a salvage car. I don't know if you're familiar with a salvage car. Basically, no matter what you do, you can't get it to get a title. Like, just been broken beyond repair, maybe wasn't taken care of very well, maybe has a lot of issues, maybe anxiety, maybe depression, maybe alcoholism, stuff like that. I'm a lot like I have a salvage car too, but it's like really hot. Like it's a beautiful car, really nice to look at. Just also like super high maintenance and you have to check the oil all the time. Okay. I'll have a couple impressions, see if you know this one. Oh boy, that tickles. Did you know that was Tickle Me Elmo? Yes. Everyone thinks I'm Mickey Mouse. And I'm like, no. It tickles. How about this one? Hi-de-ho. South Park, Mr. Hanky, little Christmas too.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll work on those. Let's see. I'm also I was going to say a comedian. That's why I'm here right now. I'm a substitute teacher. Sometimes I'll mix that up and I'll do comedy for the children. That's a fun time. But yeah, I'm a sub. A lot of people peg me for a dom. Definitely more of a substitute than a domstitute. But I like it. Kids are fun. Kids are weird. They think they know everything. There's always like that one kid in every class, that you want to break in half or take home. Sometimes there's one you want to take home. Sometimes there's like a class that I really like. And I'm like, is the thing that's wrong with the teacher? Is it serious? Can I stay for the whole week? Like, but you win some, you lose some. Kids though, like they're like the kindergartners, for instance, like they think they know everything, right? And they do. Like when they're 5, everything they know is what they know. So in the middle of this story about Carl and the meaning of life, this young boy shoots up his hand and he says, girls pee out of their butts. And he's like, yeah, they don't have a pee-pee. And these are like these moments in your life where you like make these decisions, right? You make these choices. Like, I'm a teacher, I'm here to guide them, right? Like, this is Catholic school. They're never gonna learn. Like, what do? Do you tell them that there's a secret garden? Do you tell them it's not just a Barbie? Like, no. You got to be careful. I didn't say anything. I just moved on. But those kindergartner girls, they were like, oh, that's not true. I was like, let's see what the meaning of life is, children. Let's turn the page of this story. I was teaching middle school. That's a whole nother freaking deal. Those children, the girls during PE, I was teaching PE, and they don't want to like work as hard as the boys. You know, they don't want to take all the hits. They don't want to throw all the balls. And I'm like, hey, we've been fighting for equal pay. You know, you got to give me some equal play. They went right over their heads, just like all the balls. But what can you do? What can you do? They're on TikTok all day long. How do I compete with that? I have no idea. No idea. I was teaching middle school, all boy middle school. And I think they knew that this was getting under my skin because they kept doing it. Right. They're like, I think that it's a sensitive thing. Like, they're going to make me upset. That was their goal. So they act like I smell bad. Like, I smell so gross. Like, every time they walk into the room, oh, and the boys are like, oh, I need a mask. Oh, it smells so bad. And they're just like going on and on. I'm like, it does not smell in here. And I'm like going to the other teachers, like, do I smell? Do I stink? And I started to think about it, like, middle school boys. Middle school boys. They are the stinkiest. They are the stinkiest of all the humans on the planet. They are the most stinky, right? They don't know quite about deodorant or like Axe body spray and the equal amount to use. They have no idea. It's always too much. They're trying so hard to figure out if they're left-handed or right-handed. They smell disgusting. They're probably sitting at home, probably on TikTok or playing a game with their like jugs of piss, just sitting next to them because they don't want to pause it because they're like streaming or whatever. How dare them? Okay, that's all I got for the teaching bits today. I've been juicing. I've been trying to be healthy. You know, I've gone on cleanses. I don't know if any of you ever go on a cleanse or try a new diet. You can be in for a lot. Like, you kind of want to make sure you're close to a toilet, if you know what I mean. Oh, I have been like, oh, is that a cough or whoop shit? You know, like, thought it was just going to be a nice little loose fart. And next thing you know, you have to go home for the day, you know, or nobody poops their way through Walgreens anymore. Just me. I'm gonna tell you a true story. Okay, true story. I am on a cleanse. It's one of those blender things with the kale, carrots, cucumber, turmeric, ginger. You know, splash of this is gonna make you shit, like in a jar, drinking it, and then I go for a run. You know, like, the logic looking back is like, okay, Brooke, I can see where this went wrong, but I wasn't running like in the woods or by a farm, you know. It was like a suburb, fairly nice suburb with, you know, perhaps children, adults, dogs, you know. Dogs, it's okay for them to poop, you know, it's okay for them. But, you know, for like a girl, you know, just on a jog, you know, like, what do you do when you like just, it starts rumbling a lot? You know, like, and you're like halfway through your run and you're like, what do I do? You know, I can't poop in these bush or that tree or on that person's driveway. So here's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just for little kids, for babies. It's not just for old people, like regular humans, even pretty people. Yeah, we can poop our pants too. Yeah, it's fine. It's
Mm.
fine. And I just want to like plug really quick Nike running shorts. Nike running shorts, they have an extra layer, it's an extra pair of undies in there. In there, it's just perfect, so you don't have to like, it just stays in is what I'm saying. It's really nice. Back to the actual real story. So when I got home, this is wild. Okay. You're not going to believe this. My mom was lying unconscious on the couch from the night before. I could tell she hadn't been up yet, hadn't even made coffee. I needed to call 911, emergency level situation. But like, I'm not going to call 911 while my pants are full of shit, right? Like, what do I do? Like go into the shower right after I call and then they come and I'm in no, like I have to wait. So I de-pooped myself. I de-shit my pants, got into the shower, did my hair, washed it very nicely, found a really nice outfit, and she is fine. They Narcaned her. So she was fine, but true story. I told my mom, I'm like, you didn't even know, like I pooped my pants and you had to wait a little while on that time, So yeah, that's just to help you feel good about yourself there. I put my handle on there. You can send me that on Venmo if you want. You could follow my Instagram, my TikTok, whatever you want. I'm really glad to be here. Excited to see the other comedians. Thank you. I'm Brooke Barsell.
Your mom almost died of shit. Dad, see. All right, our next comedian I met doing Zoom comedy over the last 2 years. She's been involved in a lot of shows. What shows are you still running now?
I run the Hot Mic on Thursday with Kim Nash, and I host the Tuesday F Comedy virtual mic. So, yeah.
You can follow her Facebook and Instagram. She'll put her information in the chat a little bit later. And you can watch some of the other shows that she is involved in. There are some excellent shows. I've been on a couple of those from time to time. Need to get back to them myself. But please, let's begin. Give a big round of applause.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
Woo!
I just gonna give a quick mention. My dog is super pumped to be here tonight. So if you hear a lot of yapping, my dog is just like, hell yeah. I love me some button down comedy. Of course. My name is Kelly, and I am a recovering brunch hostess. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, it's been about 2 years since I've had to ask anybody if they'd like to see a menu. So I'm doing good, everyone. I'm very proud of my progress. I have to say, I'm very, very proud. I'm also celebrating about, I think I'm at now 15 months of being booze free. That is too. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Which as an Eastern European lady, giving up drinking, that's a bold ass move, man. That is really intense. I told my dad, I was like, I'm going to take alcohol out of the system. I'm going to give it up. And my father, very concerned, sits me down. He's like, Kelly, you tell me why you no drink. I make you drink. You tell me why you no drink. Doesn't work that way, Pops. Gosh, like Eastern European culture, very, very boozy. Like I did my ancestry DNA test to find out just how pickled my liver was. And it came back 90% vodka. So that checks out. Yeah. Very, very boozy. I am a girl made up of sugar and spice and Smirnoff Ice. So that's my blood type is shaken. Yeah, not strict. But no, I honestly think my parents would have taken it better had I told them I was gay. I really do. But no, I came out as straight and sober. That just, if you want to disappoint Latvian people, tell them you're not drinking. Like if my parents were ever at an AA meeting, they would be the two going around the room with the drinks cart. Like seriously, they just don't understand this concept at all. At all. But on those ancestry DNA tests, I live here in Canada. I don't know about the commercials in the States, but up here, I love these ancestry DNA ads because everybody in those commercials, oh my God, they are just pumped to learn that they are not German. So weird. Never seen someone so excited to learn they're Irish. It's wild. It's just wild. You may see my name and the last name being Zemnickis and think, is she related to that movie director, Robert Zemeckis? You know, he made the classics, Back to the Future, Forrest Gump, amazing guy. Still not anybody I'm related to though. I don't know why it is that people think we're related, despite the fact that our last names are not spelt the same. You know? And I point this out to people, and the usual reply is, "Yeah, are you sure?"
No.
Yes, I think so. You know, and also Robert Zemeckis is Lithuanian. I am Latvian. But I know enough that unless you are Lithuanian or Latvian, you do not give a fuck about that part. So it's okay. They're two different countries. I swear they are. I've got two great parents, despite the booze thing. They are awesome and supportive. They're of an older generation. They both came to Canada during World War II. So they've had like a different perspective on how to raise my brother and I. Case in point, I was hit by a car when I was 16, right outside my high school. Super scary, really, really scary. And I'll never forget when the principal called my dad to come get me. And my dad said, "Yes, my daughter, is it possible if she gets to Subway? I closer to Subway than school. To be easier." It's like, that's not parenting 101. That's parenting 000, you know? but like a good Latvian girl, I got on that bus, you know, I did. Because like, again, my dad grew up during World War II, right? So his stock reply to anything that has happened to me in my life is, "Yeah, Kelly, big deal. I escaped Nazis." Which, if you can play that card, it is a solid hand. It's a hard one to top. So when I got home, my dad just sat me down and he poured me a shot of vodka and taught me how to make my own leg cast. So it was some good father-daughter bonding time is what we had that night. Yeah. I moved recently. I did. I moved in with two friends I have known for a super long time. They were very gracious. They gave me a room in their penthouse. Can you believe that? Kelly Zemnickis, comic, lives in a penthouse now? What? It's great. There's a laundry service. There's a car service. Okay, there's also my parents. My parents are here too. Yeah. I moved back home, everybody. So I am crushing it at 44. So doing good. I'm doing good. But man, if my mom and dad weren't impressed enough with the things I have done in my life, they are very, very impressed that at 44, this bitch got her bedroom back. So there you go. There you go. It's great. It's great. I live with two senior citizens and a puppy. So it's kind of got this like frat house vibe going on in here a little bit, you know. like instead of yelling, turn down your MTV, we're yelling, turn down your CNN. I don't know why the news has to be that loud. I don't. But the best is every morning when I wake up, somebody is shouting, "Who peed on the floor?" Like every second day, the dog blames my dad, which is good. But my parents are great. They just celebrated 55 years of being together.
Oh,
Right? It's insane. It's so wonderful. And they have these cute little rituals that they do each night. This one is my favorite. Just after dinner, they take out their hearing aids. It signals the portion of the day where they no longer care what you are saying. So if it's after 7, too late. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It turns every night into a family game night in the Zemnickis household. Yeah, we got charades going from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's good fun. It's good fun. For those who know me, I am a foodie, 100% a foodie. It's in my Instagram title there. But I'm an old school foodie, OG. Because back when I was like, in 5th grade, I would bring homemade apple pies, peach cobblers to shows, to parties rather, because that is what every 10-year-old kid is jonesing for. I know what the boys want. Screw the Nintendo. Get David Parsons a cobbler. I know how it works. I know. In hindsight, this was not the way to find out if Todd liked me. But it was the way to find out Todd had a severe nut allergy. So he's doing fine. I looked him up on LinkedIn. He's good. He's living. He made it through. As comics, sometimes we get asked, what got you into doing stand-up? I think the usual assumption is that we were the class clowns. But I wore pantsuits as a child. So I wasn't so much the class clown as I was like the class accountant. So not how it happened for me. Yeah. I got mistaken for the teacher a lot as a kid because I was the height I am now when I was really young. And I'm sure we've all heard that Van Halen tune, "Hot for Teacher." I am here to tell you it is not as hot when you are mistaken for your teacher. It does something very different to the old ego. It does. I am in a relationship, in a long distance relationship, which, comes with its pros and cons. But hands down, the best part is that when I'm crossing the border from the US to Canada, and they ask me if I have anything to declare, I can just shout out, "I've had sex." So good. I just high five the security guys as I go by. Anyhow, friends, that's all I've got for tonight. Thanks so much.
Let's keep it going for Kelly. That was a sudden shift on me, Kelly. I wasn't quite ready.
I thought it said you're at time, but now I see the full sentence.
When do you ready? Okay, I'm done. Okay. Go out here. I want to remind everybody again that if you enjoy yourself, please follow us on Button Down Comedy. We do this the second and fourth Friday of every month. So hopefully you'll be able to come back and join us. If you want to let the comics know that you enjoyed their performances, we have paypal.me/BD Comedy or on Cash App, $ Button Down Comedy. Our headliner tonight is a gentleman also I met doing Zoom. One day I'd like to see all these people in person, and hopefully I will one day. But in the interim, I want to introduce a gentleman who has made me laugh more times than I can count. I've seen him on multiple Zoom shows, and I heard he's doing some new stuff tonight, so I'm excited. So please put your hands together for David Parsons.
Well, thank you, Geo. It's a great pleasure to be here on this lineup of legends of Zoom comedy, shall we just say. It's wonderful. Great job to both of my fellow comics, and wonderful show from Geo. And I'd like to thank Kelly for doing one extra joke, because if she'd finished a joke earlier, I would have still had my hand on my penis in the bathroom. I got a pre-show ritual. I always go to the toilet right before I go on. And that was nearly a very ill-timed trip to the bathroom. So thank you. Okay, so originally I'm from England, and sometimes I make love Paul Revere style. Yes, that's right. I ride hard all night, and then I yell, "The British are coming." Of course, I'm just kidding. I'm a happily married man with an 11-year-old daughter. Best contraceptive ever. And my love life, shall we say, isn't as it once was. I'm not going to say my wife's sex drive's low, but I don't know what was colder, the surprise storm in Colorado last week, or the look on my wife's face the other night when I gently touched her butt. I was brushing her teeth. We don't do foreplay in my house. We do chore play. My best, if not only, route to a good time in the bedroom is an empty dishwasher. And we no longer Netflix and chill. We Disney Plus and guilt trip. So we thought we'd try a little role play to spice things up. We considered professor and student, nurse and patient, but eventually went with something really kinky. Childless couple who doesn't get their calendars out to schedule sex. Gonna be fantastic. We've got it penciled in for June 3rd. But please don't leave here with the impression that the romance is gone from my marriage. I bought my wife the best Valentine's Day gift of a mug that says, "I love you more than bacon." Because sometimes it's the little lies that keep the fire going. All right, so we had a little bit of fun last week. My wife got COVID. So I had a super spreader event in my bedroom from the first time since high school. Yeah, don't go in my old, if I moved back home like Kelly did, I would not be flashing a black light around in my old childhood bedroom. That's for sure. There's some shit went on in there. But yeah, so I didn't get COVID. I managed to dodge it, and it wasn't a surprise to me. I got both my vaccine doses when they were first available. I'm boosted. Although in England we pronounce that Boocestershire, in case you wondered. But we were okay. My kid was okay too. I wish my fellow Texans were as serious about the vaccines as we are. I read somewhere that only 57% of Texans are fully vaccinated. And of those that went for one shot, 20% didn't go back for the next. Now that shocks me, because it's so unlike Texans to refuse a second helping of anything. Yeah. All right. So don't you just love it when soldiers have cool nicknames? Anybody? Or is it just me? I was like, I was reading about recent Secretary of Defense General Jim Mattis, who has 3 nicknames. 3. Chaos, Mad Dog, and the Warrior Monk. The Warrior Monk? One of these things is not like the others. Anyway, it's way enough to strike fear into the hearts of the enemy, especially if you don't know whether you're getting a rabid canine or a man of God with a grudge. But General Mathis didn't invent this nickname thing. World War II was won on the backs of people with glorious nicknames. I mean, who can forget General George Old Blood and Guts Patton? I mean, that's an impressive man. But, he pales into insignificance. I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson today. My personal favorite, RAF Group Captain Sir Douglas Tin Legs Bader. Now, that is a name known to every English schoolboy. He got his nickname because He lost both legs in a flying accident in 1931. And they invalided him out of the Air Force. But then World War II broke out in 1939. He insisted he be allowed to fly again. He flew hundreds of combat missions over occupied France before getting shot down in 1941. And he was imprisoned and made 36 escape attempts until they took away his tin legs and locked him up in Colditz. Now that is a guy with a nickname. Pilots are always cool, though. Pilots are always super cool. Among the coolest, who's ever heard of Eugene Bullard? Anybody? Eugene Bullard was the first black fighter pilot. He flew in World War I. And his nickname was the Black Swallow of Death. And I'm going to insist, as this is as a safe zone, no oral sex jokes, please. All right, I guess that was kind of an oral sex joke. So, yeah. And then we go through, you know, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Stormin' Norman Schwarzkopf. Who remembers that guy?
Yeah.
He got all the credit for that. And whereas the guy whose name sounds like a golfer, Colin Powell, got none of the credit. What's the difference? Cool nickname. You know? What was it? General Colin 2 handicap Powell? Not sure. All right. But all nicknames aren't cool. General Charles de Gaulle, the president of France, was called the Great Asparagus. Apparently, because when he was in military school, his head was shaped like an asparagus.
Oh.
I mean, I've seen an asparagus. That's highly unlikely if you ask me.
Yeah,
but you know, whatever. I don't know. And then there's another sort of another one called from British history. British Army Field Marshal Douglas Haig was called the Butcher of the Somme. But I'm not entirely sure whether that was down to his prowess in battle or his habit of sending his soldiers to run at machine guns. So I don't know about that one. Anyway, I think we're past the golden age of combat nicknames. John Targeted Drone Strikes McGee just doesn't have the same ring to it. Or General Jane, let's try economic sanctions again. Strange. Or new entrant, General Anatoly. Which direction is Ukraine anyway? Oh, what was that bang? And where did my tanks go? Petrov. But I think, you know, we should revive the tradition, but put down our swords and pick up our plowshares and give those badass names to someone who really deserves them. In Texas, we're going to go all in for Beto Cripple Killer O'Rourke. We're going to have Ruth 100% that bitch Beta Beansburg. Greta, steal my fucking dreams. I'ma fuck you up. Thunberg. And Jesus Christ, the scourge of the temple traders. I think that's the way to go. All right. So I'm driving down the road with my 11-year-old the other day. We've hit a milestone. She now gets to sit in the front seat, which is cool, except she's right by the stereo, and I'm already sick of Demi Lovato, and we haven't even halfway back from volleyball practice. So I told my kid, I will play any song your mother doesn't let you listen to. Yeah, bold move. But the list is kind of large. My wife was raised Southern Baptist, and she doesn't like songs with rude words in them or, you know, adult concepts. So immediately my kid asks for Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's WAP. Now, as anyone who knows me knows, I love that song, but it's one thing rocking out in your car seat on your own, another thing when you've got your 11-year-old sitting next to you.
Yeah.
I'm starting to doubt my parenting choices at this point, and I'm also starting to preview the conversation I'm going to have with my wife when I get home. So my kid remarks that she knows a lot of the words already because the kids at school sing them. I think
Okay.
this will be a good teachable moment, so I'm trying to be nonchalant, and I ask her if she needs any of the words explaining. Yeah, I'm really going all for this parenting today. I mean, it's just, but you know, my mom was real good at answering tweens Dave's questions about things like blowjobs, so I just wanted to be that parent. Anyway, so we're driving along, we're listening to the song. Pipes up from the next seat. I think I know what pussy means, Dad. Oh, is it a penis? No, actually, it's a vagina. Okay. The boys use that word a lot at school, so I thought it might be a penis. Well, honey, boys use a lot of words like that. The tune's playing along, and we go a little further down the road, and up she pipes. They say come a lot too. So I'm remembering what the average 11-year-old boy's favorite hobby is. While I managed to say, well, do you know what that means? And she's like, the sticky stuff that comes out of their penises.
Oh God.
Oh.
It sounds kind of gross. And I'm like, how many minutes long is this song again? So we're cruising along. We're listening to all the joyous terms you can use to describe like a damp vagina, and she pipes up, Dad, why is her pussy wet? Why, David? Why? Demi Lovato is not that bad. So my brain is working overdrive, and I'm like, all I can come up with is, well, when a woman gets excited in the kind of ways that the song talks about, sometimes her vagina gets damp. Like cum? Kind of, but not really. Okay, cool. Hey, did Mom tell you that Becca didn't make the volleyball team? Hey, parenting win. Got out of the vagina zone.
Oh God.
So no, kiddo, she didn't. Hey, how's your setting practice going? You make the team? Yeah, she's great. Okay. Eventually, the song ends without her asking me how you'd park a Big Mac truck in that little garage, or why you'd be swiping your nose like a credit card. And her hands go to the Spotify screen. She's picking the next song. I'm like, what delight is next? How about a little Straight Outta Compton so we can discuss racial dynamics in modern metropolitan America? Pose in different area codes? Well, he has a lot of friends all over the country. Probably does Zoom comedy. My neck, my back, lick it. Closer by the 9 Inch Nails, blurred lines. You know, if you've seen my comedy, that would be all kinds of karma for me. But no, it's a mom-approved song this time. Lizzo's About Damn Time. And I'm like, it's about damn time we had a song that's not all about pussy. And I was just checking. I'm like, does your mom not like this song? She says I play it so many times it's gotten annoying. I'm like, okay, I love this song. Crank that volume up. So we're going along. In a minute, I'm going to need a little sentimental man or woman to pump me up. It's great. It's rocking along. My kid's like, look, Dad, I know the TikTok dance to this. I let that go for now. I'm not ready for a budding TikToker in my house. And it can wait a little while. She doesn't have a phone yet. She won't for a bit. And when she does, it'll be the dumbest fucking flip phone I can lay my hands on. I'm going to buy that little bitch a jitterbug like you get for the old people with the big buttons. And she's going to like it. And when she does get a smartphone, I've got a plan already if she gets on TikTok and twerks to the latest Lil Jon record. I've got a TikTok account. I'm a budding comic. I mean, one video got 117 views. All I need to do is get on the For You page and I'm going to go viral. And if my kid does any dances that I don't approve of, I am going to do them myself, wearing a Speedo and some tassels, and I'm going to tag her and all of her friends. And that should keep the little bitch off TikTok. All right. So I'm getting all kinds of depressed by politics at the moment. It's terrible in the US. I mean, we've got Joe Biden doesn't really seem to know what he's doing. You got Trump waiting in the wings. The country's going to shit. And I think we deserve better. I think that America is ready for our first female president. Who's with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I get an amen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got the perfect candidate for you. Meghan Markle's a free agent. You elected her as president, you'd have a duchess in the White House, and the first gentleman would be a prince. Talk about classing up that joint. Or we could even, if you like, go the whole hog and rip up the Declaration of Independence and ask Her Majesty the Queen to take us back. It works out fine for Kelly's folk up in Canada. You know, that sounds radical, but both countries get a little something out of that deal. England gets an economic upgrade over the European Union, and the United States gets a universally respected head of state that I can guarantee you has never been pissed on by a Russian prostitute. They get a proper cup of hot tea instead of the ice crap they serve over here. They get a national healthcare service that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, unless you're going in for a double amputation. And most importantly, decent fish and chips. So I'm going to start a campaign, and I've got the perfect slogan for the bumper sticker. Elizabeth 2024. Make America Great Britain again. Okay. I got back recently from a spring break trip to Breckenridge, Colorado with my fam. All right. My wife was a little surprised that I wanted to go. I don't ski. I mean, particularly well-balanced and fit people break limbs on the slope, so I don't like my chances. But she soon figured it out, because Colorado has something other than winter sports that Texas doesn't have. Anybody have any idea what that might be?
Weed.
Yes. Yes. They have legal weed. And so I was all in for that. You know, fuck the slopes. I'm gonna go down the slopes. So I was trying to sort of keep this from my kid. She's only 11. I don't think we need to go into that yet. You know, drugs are bad at that age. You get into nuance later. But I was going to keep it from her. But unfortunately, one ill-timed Maui Wowie infused caramel later, my kid got to meet for the very first time Hi Dad. I think she kind of liked him, you know. My wife, not so much. So she's glaring at me from across the room. My kid's like, why is Daddy so happy? And I don't know whether my wife's explanation of altitude sickness convinced her. But I should have known it'd be fine, because she'd already met amusingly drunk Dad, and that one went fine. She'd already met ambient sleepwalk Dad. And she'd already met one double espresso too many Dad. But I think I'm gonna leave it a little while before I introduce her to abuse his fad diets, because he kind of likes the starvation Hi Dad. Pulls an all-nighter at work courtesy of borrowing one of her Adderalls Dad. Or thinks she's a talking armadillo because of the shrooms Dad. Leave that for a little while. Anyway, it was a great trip. One night I was like a couple of edibles and a vape in, and I wanted some music to brighten up my evening. So I pulled out my web browser and I Googled music to listen to while high. Except that I hadn't opened the browser. I'd managed to text my wife. And I got a response back almost immediately. Really? You woke me up, asshole. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try again. Pulled up the browser, and this time I managed to Facebook message my dad the same message. And I was about to apologize to him, but then I got a response, and he says, Dark Side of the Moon by Floyd, anything by Coltrane, The Doors, Snoop Dogg, and trust me on this, son, the fourth movement of Beethoven's Seventh Symphony. So I know what I'm getting my father at Christmas now. A subscription to High Times and a Bob Marley box set. I think he'll enjoy that. All right. You know, the British are a very stubborn people. I don't know whether you're aware of that. We're not that relevant anymore. America kicked us out almost a quarter of a millennium ago. We had our shot in the early 19th and the 20th centuries, but we still won't get off the world stage, even though colonialism is quite rightly frowned on now. But ask Hitler how easy it is to take out a mathematically outnumbered many times over Great Britain, who alone stood up to the Axis powers in Europe until the US came in and sorted us out. The Argentinians didn't think we'd bother to sail all around the world to rescue 4,000 citizens and about 12,000 sheep. And the European Union might have wished it had tried a little harder to keep us. I don't know. Stubborn bunch. It's no surprise to me that the British ultimately left the European Union. Our hearts were really never in it. And one story I remember from the early days of the European Union and Britain's entry into it is particularly instructive. A big EU product was standardization, which meant that everything had to be converted over into metric from imperial. We got a waiver for our road signs because it would be too difficult to change them all from miles into kilometers. But there was uproar over some of the other changes. And the bitterest pill to swallow was the loss of the standard British pint of milk, of orange juice, and particularly of beer. It was like the French were coming for our good British warm beer, and they were going to get glassed in the face if they came to do that at my local, at any rate. Anyway, so the pint had to go, and the British grudgingly complied. And they introduced the new standard measure for beer in England, 568 milliliters, which is exactly one British pint. Cute story. Need to punch that one up a little for a joke. All right. Moving on. Yes. Okay. Who hates targeted ads on the internet? Everybody? Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Well, everyone thinks they're annoying, but like, I actually buy some of the shit they serve up. It looks so cool, and who wouldn't want virtual reality sunglasses with a built-in air conditioner? I mean, that's perfect for Texas summers. But sometimes, folks, the algorithm gets it very, very wrong. Facebook fed me an ad the other day that totally bewildered me. It was a package deal for the Disney Plus channel bundled with ESPN Cricket and the Bollywood station. You know what that means? Facebook thought I was from the Indian subcontinent. Now, I love onion bhaji, chicken rogan josh, aloo gobi, and gulab jamun as much as the next British person, but I am not, in fact, Indian. My suspicion was confirmed when I scrolled further down and saw an ad for an electric chapati machine.
Oh, yeah.
As if any self-respecting Indian would use anything other than a tandoor for that. Am I right? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
And then I saw an ad for a movie I can't tell you the name of because I don't speak Hindi. And my suspicion was confirmed. Why did Facebook turn me from a very white Englishman into an Indian? I don't know. But suddenly it clicked. I'd bought a new PlayStation 5 a couple of months ago, and a few weeks in, spent a solid 3 days playing video cricket, which, believe me, is a thing. It's very relaxing. Yes, like the real thing, Yash. The games can take 3 days, but it's beautiful. The sound of leather on willow. It's great. But Facebook must have bought the usage data from Sony and was like the only person who could possibly be paying that much video cricket in Dallas is an Indian immigrant who misses sport, Bollywood, and Mars onion culture. So now my Facebook feed looks like Sanjay Gupta's, and I don't know what to do about it. But this isn't the first time I've been misidentified by the algorithm. Oh no. On a visit to my sisters in England, I found my feed invaded by a very different kind of ad. My sister's an interesting person. She's got a very fascinating side hustle. She breeds cats. Yeah. Well, not personally, of course. The way it works is she keeps females of breeding age, and when they go into heat, which is frankly terrifying, by the way, if you've never seen a cat in heat, basically the female walks around low to the ground, howling, and shows her gaping vagina to anything that looks vaguely like a mouth. When they go into heat, you ship them off to a kitty stud farm for a week to get royally railed by a breeding male. And cat sex is not very much fun for the females, by the way. Don't ask me how I know this. I grew up in a fairly rough neighborhood. Not all of England is like Downton Abbey. But cat sex involves a lot of biting and not an awful lot of foreplay. Anyway, 4 months after the, shall we say, breeding event occurs, a litter of kittens arrives. Anything from 4 to 9 kittens, which my sister keeps for 8 weeks and then sells for $1,000 each. $1,000. I'm not shitting you here. Now, 8-week-old kittens are crazy cute, but $8,000 is a lot of catnip. It really is. Anyway, my sister had just sold a litter before we got there, and the house was blissfully kitten-free. It was back to her usual 9 cats. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. My sister totally embraces the crazy cat label. Anyway, as cute as cats are, we now always rent an Airbnb around the corner when we stay. I love Airbnb, and it's like fake attempts to make it seem like less of a soulless corporate transaction. It always asks you, tell your host a little bit about who you are and the reason for your visit. So I put on that trip, I'm an expat Brit living in Texas, coming over to visit family. My sister breeds cats and currently has 2 litters, and I can't deal with the smell of turd or the mewing or the cats. Guy said it was the best welcome message he'd ever received, but many a true word is spoken in jest, and with up to 25 cats, the smell of shit can be kind of overpowering. So yeah, we stay around the corner and we spend the days with my sister. Have you ever seen the movie The Silence of the Lambs? Anybody here? Well, before one scene in a morgue, all the FBI agents put Vicks Vapor Rub on their top lips to ward off the stench of the river bloated corpse. Well, that works for cat poo as well. I can assure you of that. And I got a pro tip for any young marrieds here, anybody who's trying to sort of like impress their new wife. If your newlywed wife is in the shower and asks you to give her the tube of moisturizer, never ever respond with, it rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again. Unless you happen to like sleeping in the spare room. So don't do that. Anyway, we've been at my sister's long enough for the smell of cat feces to become background noise. So about 3 days. My Facebook feed was suddenly all about cats. I had an ad for a $1,400 self-cleaning cat litter device. I'm not going to call it a tray. It looks like an escape pod from a spaceship. I got an ad for a stud service with a particularly virile looking tomcat staring seductively at the screen. A marketplace ad for a gently used cat breast milk pump. And I was invited to join the official Facebook group of the Royal Council for the Cat Fancy, which is his actual fucking name. That's the pedigree sort of cat breeding society over there. How? Does Zuckerberg have his spies out? How does he know I'm suddenly around more cats than I'm used to? I mean, we got 1 at home. But I don't know if you're aware of this, but Facebook actually sort of looks where you are, looks who else is with you, looks what they've been buying, and then serves you ads for that. It's kind of scary, really. Really is. I don't know. I guess I could lock down my data better. You can turn off a lot of these tracking services and make it a bit more anonymous. But where would the fun be in that? And how would I ever manage with a regular old litter box that I actually have to empty myself? You know, now I can watch the cricket while my chicken boona simmers on the stove. And the cats take care of themselves. All right, I'm going to end on this one, I think. Done some new stuff. Thank you for your patience. I like it when I get to work out some new material. But I'm going to end with one of my old classics. So I was born in the United Kingdom, moved here 20 years ago. And when I first got here, there's a little bit of a language barrier. Because words in America have a different meaning sometimes, and this can cause a lot of confusion. In America, the word fanny is slang for buttocks. In England, a fanny is a vagina. So you can perhaps imagine my confusion when an American friend said, gee, I went a long bike ride yesterday. My fanny's still sore. How the hell were you sitting on the saddle, lady? Staying on the subject of genitals for a second. To the English, beavers aren't remotely sexual. In fact, the youngest Girl Scouts are called Beaver Scouts and are led by a gray beaver. Please, sir, would you like to buy some beaver cookies? Not really, no. In England, a rubber's used to erase pencil marks. Not here, which explains the strange look I got when, before a test in college, I told an American classmate that I didn't have a rubber and asked if she had a spare I could borrow. What? I said, I'm just trying to stop myself from making a mistake I'll pay for later. Well, I didn't get that rubber, and she sat as far away from me as she could. And just as I feared, the need arose in the test, and I had to rub one out by myself. My favorite English dessert has a very strange name. To the English, a spotted dick is a delicious raisin cake. To Americans, a spotted dick is an excellent reason to call your doctor immediately. In either event, I highly recommend slathering it with cream. And this one's the worst. The American use of the word spunk makes me positively nauseous. In America, spunk means courage, determination, get up and go. In England, spunk is slang for semen. And I have a friend who always describes her 15-year-old daughter as full of spunk.
No.
Oh, God, I hope not. Well, Button Down Comedy, you have been a fantastic audience. I'd like to thank Geo. I'd like to thank my fellow comics. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for taking me in. Cheers.
Keep it going for David. Thank you, David. That was wonderful. I think all three of our comics did a great job tonight. I had a lot of fun. Anybody who wants to see more of these, please follow us on Button Down Comedy. We appreciate you coming. We hope to see more things, and please tell friends. We'd love to have bigger audiences. Bigger audience just makes it much more fun for us. So please enjoy your evening and get home safe.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
Gio.
you.
Thank you.
Good
I
shit.
thought I
Bye-bye.
missed everything because I got the time zone wrong.
Oh, Trish.
That's right.
Next time.
Reading comprehension. It's a thing. Bye.